Welcome to your feature presentation after the show. We're talking Alien Earth, episodes 1 and 2 today. Keith, my man, it's been months, long months of waiting. A year actually, since we've had new Alien content.
Yeah.
I'm psyched out of my mind. Psyched to see the XX-121, a xenomorph in some form. I'm pumped. We can actually talk about some differences maybe later, but between Alien and this xenomorph in Alien Earth. But we've both seen episodes 1 and 2 so far. I have posted a TikTok for us, giving it both the episodes 1 and 2 together an overall rating. I'm curious if you have an overall rating out of 10. I think mine on first watch was 7.5. And realistically, I did watch it again. And I'm upwards of 8 now. I think it's much better on the second watch. I'm curious what you would think.
Are you talking for both episodes?
Both combined. You can break it down if you want. I liked episode 1 better than episode 2.
I think episode 1 was pretty perfect for what I want out of an Alien series.
Totally.
I think episode 2, got a little more campy. It got a little more, I don't know. I think there was a bit more of characters. What are you doing?
Yes.
A little bit, but not bad. And it's also so hard because I'm like, we're going to get, so many more episodes. I'm like, I don't know. So I'm high on this project for sure. And I just know I love seeing the smile on your face. I'm like, Andrew, you got to host this episode because I know this is your baby.
My boy,
yeah.
My lost boy.
Oh, my lost boys. Like, where do you want to even start with this episode?
Dude, let's start with some characters.
Yeah.
So, new to the series is Boy Cavalier. New to the franchise, I should say, is Boy Cavalier. New to the franchise are hybrids, which are very interesting. So I think let's talk about the concept of hybrids and our initial thoughts on those characters and what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
I will say my initial negativity, like really anything that would pull points away from high scores for this, would be my perception of the adolescence of the hybrids. I've got a little bit of a hard time with it. Some people in the comments, like on our TikTok and Instagram, I expressed that and they were like, dude, you're just nitpicking. Like, you got to get over it. It doesn't matter. I'm like, generally, I agree. I am nitpicking because there's so much to love here. But if there's anything that pulls points away from 10 out of 10 for me, it is like 2 episodes in, I find the hybrids a little annoying in their adolescence, in their childishness. And I recognize that it is intentional. They're literal children in the bodies of humans. So I am hopeful. I don't hold their adolescence against Noah Hawley. I don't think it's a writing issue. I think it's part of the story that I have not been explained yet. Like, their adolescence will play a key role in the story, and I just haven't seen it yet. And so that's why it feels unfulfilled. So that's why it's a bit higher for me than I initially thought, because I can respect that. What do you think about the hybrids?
So it was interesting that because they do refer to them as like a hybrid. So this is the synthetic body that they're putting like a human consciousness into from sick kids. So that was their argument, that like it's because it's a child who is like dying of a disease, they're going to move the consciousness over, and like a child's consciousness can accept that new body.
Yeah, it's malleable. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I do understand that. It'll be interesting to see where this goes, because I do have some concerns that like they're androids. They can't really die. They can't get implanted by a xenomorph, a facehugger. So there's a bit of like, they're a little invincible superheroes. Like, but at the same time, it's something we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
So I feel like I am intrigued for sure. I think my favorite thing about the show is the different corporations.
Yes. Yeah.
Which for me, my biggest thing, and I'll say this so many times, is I don't want a show to be like, this should have been a movie. You know, like so many Disney projects we've gotten.
Yeah.
This should have been a movie. But this seems to have, not saying it's a good story yet, because we haven't had the whole season,
Right.
but it seems to have enough story to warrant a series, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I love how they're diving into these corporations. I'm going to do a little rundown if that sounds good.
Dude, yes. Tell us.
Okay. So they got the Prodigy Corporation, which is like the leading developer with hybrids. And so they're trying to like basically extend human life. If we can move consciousness to a synthetic body. And then Weyland-Yutani, which is what we all know from Alien. They're like another big tech corporation that is focused primarily, from what we've seen, trying to gather the weapons technology. And then you've got Lynch, Dynamic, and Threshold, the Nostromo, which is a Weyland-Yutani ship. And then these other Lynch, Dynamic, and Threshold, which we don't really know yet, but they're basically these 5 tech companies that rule the world. They have their own security force. And I mean, like, we're talking Tesla, but they have an army kind of thing.
Yeah. They control a like massive section of the globe.
Yeah. Like, it seems pretty much like Earth is not there's no governments anymore. It's these companies that own different parts.
Yeah.
Really reminds me of the East India Trading Company kind of thing. It was like this giant business, this corporation that has a standing army, which I think looking back at that, like, that's terrifying.
Yes.
You know, like Walmart has think about Walmart with a standing army, but they're not restricted. Because like, well, when you walk into a Walmart, that's a different sovereignty. So there's different laws. You know, and I'm from Traverse City, Michigan, so Walmarts can be crazy. Okay,
literally like 2 weeks ago,
it was insane. There was a knife attack in my hometown, which is not a big town, and it was crazy. Many people heard about it. They're like, "Yeah, you texted me." You're like,
"Yeah, I did.
Are you okay?" Like, yeah. But anyways, so careful. Be careful in Walmart.
Yeah.
But I think that idea is really terrifying, like a company with an army. And I think that's a lot of thing to be like, let's be careful with this. Like, I could see this happening, you know?
Literally.
I mean,
okay. So are there more companies? How many did you get through?
So that's all 5. So Lynch, Dynamic, and Threshold have yet to be talked about yet. They've basically said they are one. We don't know what they're focusing on. And so, yeah, we can talk more about that. But I just think that setup and how much information that is, like, that's not a movie. We can't talk about 5 corporations to control the Earth. Like, you could have a movie about that one thing. But I'm excited, like, for the TV show, hopefully we can explore that a bit more.
Yeah, I think the corporations, among other things, like baseball references, music references, not even references, hard themes tied to old Disney animated movies like Peter Pan and the old fairy tale book, Peter Pan. These things connect the Alien franchise to like a universe that is so similar to ours.
Yeah.
It's easy to like see the Alien franchise and be like, yeah, alternate reality. What if in like a long time ago, things were different and we did these things, blah, blah, blah. No, Joe DiMaggio existed in like the Alien franchise universe. Peter Pan exists. The book that inspired the
movie Ice Age.
The movie Ice Age freaking exists. And there's a crossfade. Like there's a double focus of Sid the Sloth and Wendy the hybrid. And I love it. I do love it. I think it's beautiful. So I like that a lot. I like that there's an intense amount of grounding. Like every chance Noah Hawley gets, he's like, this is your world. This is your world. this is your world. Also, 5 corporations kind of could be your world, like, pretty easily. And this is your world. And, like, it helps me take in the story really, really well.
It feels, I feel like, the original Alien, it was so much like, what if space is out to kill you? What if we find other life and it's pain?
Yeah.
That was a conversation, thinking about what does space mean, things like that. I feel like it was very of its time, which is still an interesting question. But what I love about this is it's asking those questions. It's like there's a cyborg, which is a human enhanced. There's these hybrid that's like an artificial body, but a human consciousness. Then there's straight up synth bodies. Like there's AI. And it's kind of like all these different trails of how is humanity advancing? How is it progressing? Is it going to give over to the computers? Is Mother going to take over? Are the synthetics? Is the
what even is Mother? Like, is Mother bigger than the ship brain?
Dude, it's crazy. But then, like, or is it the beast, the xenomorph? Like, what is the top? And that is woven so beautifully. And I think that's the best part about the original. One of the best parts about the original Alien. It's this high technology versus high animal instinct evolution. And the forces there. And it just I'll say this is crazy. You could not have the xenomorph in this show and I'd still really enjoy it.
Literally. That's why I was so shocked. Episode 1, when that baby was busting through the door with her head, I was like, already I'm getting this payoff. Like, this is, if this was HBO, if HBO was making the show, I wouldn't see a xenomorph. I would see the back of a head of a xenomorph on the last episode of season 1. HBO would make me wait for that baby. And they're giving it to me. Noah, you dog. I love
Noah. I think it's too. I really want to talk about Noah for a second. But thank God they don't tease us with the xenomorph for so long. It's in it. It's active, but it's not. Even in episode 2, I'm like, we're getting a full-bodied xenomorph, like run around doing stuff, tail whips, grabbing stuff, and
episode 1, the exposure with the lights flashing in the hallway scene and him getting into the motherboard room. You see more of that xenomorph in that sequence than you do in the entire Alien movie.
Yeah.
Like, we get so much.
Yeah.
It's so cool. So, all right. Companies, themes, and things. I want to say really quick, as far as comics go, we have seen synthetics and cyborgs take on the alien, the xenomorph. I've got there's a 4 or 5 issue comic from Shalvey. Declan Shalvey wrote this one, and then Philip Johnson wrote the other one that is more specific to this series. Philip Johnson's is like, I mentioned it in the TikTok, so go follow us. But Philip Johnson's is like a special ops hybrid. I don't know. They're not hybrids. Special ops synthetic team of super soldiers that go into an alien infested zone. And what does an alien do? What is what is it called in Aliens? The mother alien?
The queen?
The queen. Thank you. What does a queen? Sorry. What does a queen alien do when?
Hey Andrew, what planet did they land on the original Alien?
LV-426.
So you know that off the top of your head, but you couldn't remember the word queen. Not a king.
But like a king if it was a lady.
A lady king.
Lady
king?
I know a lot about Alien and I'm sexist. I'm sorry.
Duchess?
Duchess. Duchy.
No.
So anyway, those kinds of stories exist, and it's really interesting to like read those comics and see what does the queen alien do or the xenomorph do when there's no prospect of furthering the species, right? I don't have to take one of these 10 living bodies back so that we can create another xenomorph. This is a machine that has been manufactured to kill me. And so I will go absolutely ruthless. And I think we're going to see that. We saw like the ruthlessness in a lot of the sequences in episode 2 in particular with that party, which was hilarious. But you still see like the xenomorph is like, okay, one person left. You're going to be the bearer, the ring bearer, so to speak. You're going to be the one that I take back. And that happens in Aliens for the first time in the series. And I'm glad that they brought that back. That, yeah, xenomorph is like kill, bring everything down to a point where I can control, and I'll do it really quickly. But as soon as the threat is potentially going to give me a positive, like essentially procreation, like I can take this one person back so that they can give another xenomorph. Then my like objective shifts, right? I think that's really interesting and cool.
Oh, one thing I was going to say about the showrunner was it Noah Hawley, I believe is the name. I think something he does really well is he shows, I think where Fede Alvarez was like, remember this from Alien, which I still like it, but I understand people who are like, that's just why are you showing us this Alien reference kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And then also there's weird stuff like the android says lines that Ripley hasn't said yet.
Yes.
Like,
and you're like,
and it's like,
what?
So technically maybe Ripley in Aliens was quoting an android from a previous mission, you know? She was like,
yep.
She's like, I'll buy that for $1. She's quoting her favorite movie or something. But I think Fede Alvarez, I really like Romulus, but he tends to be more in your face with the callbacks and the references. And I think Noah Hawley, it's there. It's like, well, yeah, there's an Alien reference right there. And it's awesome. And for us, we're like, oh, love it. But then it's not essential to the story. Something I really like too. Yeah, visually, that's what I was just about to get into. Perfect segue, Andrew. The interior of the ship. Oh, shoot, I wrote it down. What's the name? The Maginot. Which is named after
the Maginot Line.
Yeah, the Minister of War, and famous for that line of forts.
Wait. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
like
same
the
thing.
line of force, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the Minister of War. So, I can't remember his first name, but Colonel Maginot had the line, like suggested that line of forts to protect like his areas. That's what made him famous.
Yes, against the Nazis.
Beautiful mustache, by the way. But yeah, so anyway, so that's the
Maginot.
ship. Maginot. So when they have that ship, so it's a science vessel. Visual. It's a science vessel. So the exterior looks a lot like the Prometheus. I don't know if you got that, like especially the head and the engines. And it's like, that's cool because that's in the line of the Weyland science research, deep space ships. But the inside feels so much like the Nostromo, which I think is so cool. Like it's in functionality and layout. And I'm like, that's perfect because it's this. We're taking things that like in this world, assumingly that all Ridley Scott stuff is canon, the Prometheus and Alien Covenant have already happened at this point. But they're like, oh, yep, a science vessel would look similar to the Prometheus starship, but the inside is a lot closer to what you remember from Alien, because that's what it's this era, and that's what this style of ship is, and that's what they want to accentuate. We're like, our heart, our inside is Alien, you know.
And I think I love it. Yeah, I love that Maginot Line. I love that the ship is named the Maginot because the Maginot Line, as an effort by, I think, the French, correct?
I believe so.
The French created it. It's like heralded historically as one of the most expensive and effectively useless military efforts in history because it did not work, but it was so ridiculously expensive. So to have a science vessel that is devoted to finding alien species to further the life of humanity, herald the end of humanity, is perfect. It's literally perfect. It's so cool.
Well, and
Like,
there's a writer somewhere or the showrunner or somebody's like,
"Ooh, yeah."
little nod. I also love too the whole idea too. So we have our main characters, the boy genius, the prodigy, corporation is they're trying to make they're trying to like excel evolution. They're like, if the body dies, the consciousness can move on. So he's obsessed with Peter Pan. That's a big thematic thing. And he calls all the kids, well, the first kid that he's successful with is one of the main characters, calls Wendy. The rest are all lost boys, which is so interesting because it's in that similar vein. The lost boys are kids who don't want to grow up.
Yeah.
And so like he's like, but he just loves that story. But what he's actually doing is he's putting kids into adult bodies and they're forced to grow up. So it's another example of this abuse of knowledge. It's like the Maginot Line. You know, it's just like, we're going to try to do this and it fails. And it's like, we're going to try, like, I'm going to have these kids. And it's like, I am obsessed with the idea. And he, like, Prodigy, I think, is such a cool character. And you, like, he's terrible. And you hate, like, he's like,
Yeah.
everything, the worst about billionaires is like, I can't wait to evolve someone to the point that I can have a genuine conversation.
Oh my gosh.
You know, no one
Such
is
a
as smart
pro.
as me, you know? And he's like, and then he talks about the synthetic and it's like, well, he knows all knowledge. You know, that's philosophy. I'm talking about knowledge, you know, like that's not knowledge, you know, it's like, but then I just think he's so arrogant. He doesn't even see that it's so ironic.
Yeah.
That he's like, these are the lost boys. But it's like, but the lost boys don't want to grow up and you're making these kids grow up.
Yeah.
And then you're literally sending them into a war zone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Just to like try it out. No, it's insane. I love how on display Boy Cavalier's adolescence is. It's part of him. And I think he's so afraid to lose it, which is why he's the Peter Pan of the story, right? So, yeah, when he sends his lost boys into an adult situation, oh, it's like hilarious and ironic, I guess, would be more a literal term, like a more adult term. But Boy Cavalier, I think this is an interesting topic that I'm excited to see extrapolated throughout. Boy Cavalier being a trillionaire who embodies adolescence, going up against Weyland-Yutani, who, mind you, has been actively involved in deep space exploration since at least 2055. Because the Maginot, like current in the story, is 2120, but their mission began 2055. That was the launch of the ship, was 2055, 65 years previous. So Weyland-Yutani has expertise. Weyland-Yutani has wisdom. When Prometheus happens, 2089, Weyland is like end of his life. And this is almost 44, 45 years after he sent a spaceship into space to find him eternal life. And it doesn't really work out, right? So the fact that Boy Cavalier is going after a similar goal as an adolescent versus Weyland-Yutani's like, we are wise and we've been pursuing eternal life. They're pursuing, like, it's almost like they're pursuing the time piece. I want more time. If only I had more time. And Boy Cavalier is going after the idea that if I can just get us into a body to perpetually learn, but stay the same, then I can maintain my adolescence, my innocence. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's just so, I hope that all of this gets like played out really, really deeply. And maybe my expectations are too high. I don't think so.
I think this is a really quality show, and I think
Yeah.
unless we fall off super hard, I think we're in for a quality season of a show. I think my biggest things too is I'm conflicted because I just want to enjoy this show on its own, and I think it should stand on its own. But I'd really love some tie up. Like
Totally.
I'd love to get a resolution on the Covenant storyline.
Yes.
I hope we could see where those stories are, and then also, are we going to finally get why there was a bunch of xenomorph eggs on LV?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we still don't know that yet. So I don't know. I think that's my biggest concern. I don't think we're going to get it, honestly, with the way the show is going. But I was like, man, I wish we could tie in. It's such a small series. It feels kind of like a Star Wars. Like, we really should know where Darth Vader is in every single movie. It feels like, why aren't they more connected? And also, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing, but why do you think there is such a fear, it seems, to go beyond Alien Resurrection in time?
Oh, yeah. Interesting, right?
Like, why
are we going backwards?
Because we went Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, then jump way back, prequel, sequel to the prequel, and then Romulus, which is between Alien and Aliens, then Earth, which is back before Alien.
Between Covenant and Alien, yep.
Yeah, they haven't done anything beyond Aliens timeline.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, I think it's like there's interesting stories, but I'm also like, just continue the story. Like, why can't we get Alien Earth? This is after Resurrection, or even like between Alien 3 and Resurrection. There's 200 years there.
Yeah, literally. There's a lot of space in that to explore. I think, unfortunately, big picture, they're more interested as a studio in their projects leading into an Alien versus Predator project, movie, show, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're more interested in that than answering questions we have from a movie from 1979.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer, but I think if we get those answers, that they will be kind of sneakily added via a writer who actually cares about the project into a project. So, like, if we get an answer on David, if we get an answer on the crashed ship from LV-426, it's going to be a line of dialogue that someone has written for that purpose because they care about the whole franchise and not an entire project.
Yeah.
Which I would be happy with. I would be happy with that. Like, okay, it is canon that the spaceship that was on the planet in the first movie was there because reason.
Yeah.
But
I would even be okay with, like, David was aboard the Covenant, and then he actually got another, I almost said Forerunner. That's from Halo, the beloved Paramount TV series.
Your favorite.
Yeah, my favorite of all time. That David would, like, got another, what are the engineers? The engineer ship.
Yeah.
And then he filled that with xenomorph eggs, and then he crashed and perished on LV-426. Like, I just need to know that. I'm like, what happened to the xenomorph that David apparently constructed? Or is this all a wash? But then that doesn't explain anything about Alien. I don't know. I feel like I'm not someone who needs every question answered.
Totally.
But then at the same time, I need a little connection. It's like,
we need a bridge and
Yeah.
not like a full explanation highway. We just need a little connector. Absolutely.
yes.
I think it would make, okay, Prometheus, I think we should wrap this up in a couple minutes because this is just a between episodes kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think that Covenant and Prometheus are excellent works of science fiction. They're excellent. I also think that my toilet was flushing. Um,
Are you on the toilet right now?
I'm on the toilet right now. It's me, brother. I also think that they stand so far away from the rest of the franchise. This and Romulus and Alien and Aliens and all these other things feel like they're one way, and Prometheus and Covenant feel like totally different projects because they're not related. Like they're not deeply connected yet, aside from the monster, right?
Yeah.
Aside from Mr. Wayland. Like it feels like I could watch those movies and be like, oh, this is supposed to be a tie-in to Alien? That's insane. Right? I need a deeper connection, a reason for it. And David, this is an opinion that I have. I'm interested what you think. I think the character of David is one of the most compelling 21st century sci-fi characters. That's a really specific take that I was hoping you would be like, no, I think you're stupid.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
I'm an idiot.
No,
I think he's awesome.
He's crazy.
Really well written.
He's ruthless.
Crazy, smart, and his objective makes sense for your understanding of his character.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful, and it's a total shame if any of you are out there and you don't like Prometheus and Covenant in 2025, read a book, brother. Come on.
Touch Grass.
Touch Grass, dude. And then go watch the movies again.
I felt like such an old man listening back to our episode and you explaining what Touch Grass was. And I'm like, I'm an old man. I don't get, what are you kids saying? Touch the lawn?
What are you talking about?
I cut it with
Did
my...
you cut that grass recently?
With my...
What deck size you got there? 42 inches. Whoa, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. I think Covenant, he's so brutal with like, oh, I loved Shaw. And then spoiler with that, what happens to her in Covenant, but it's like, he's the evil genius. He is
literally,
there's no, it's like, he can completely, that's the sociopath, right? He can completely remove his emotions and his feelings from his brain. So he's like, oh no, I love this person, but they had to die. And I don't feel bad about that. Like, this is my favorite person in the world. I am in love with them, but I had to kill them. You know, it's like that, like that's terrifying.
Potentially, this is the objective, more scary than the xenomorph. Maybe. Conceptually, yes. But that's why it's so good. Okay.
Yeah.
Last question, and we'll wrap it up. I have a character that stands out the most to me in episodes 1 and 2 as like I can't wait to see more of this person. I'm wondering what your answer is. I'll go first so you have a moment to think. My standout character is Morrow, the cyborg from the Maginot. We get a number of flashbacks in episode 1, maybe in episode 2 as well, but definitely in episode 1 of the sequence that did take place for the xenomorph to get free and like the facehugger to implant and blah, 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 blah. An alien story, right? We get flashbacks of that, but I'm very interested in how Morrow deals with the situation, not as a synth, because Tang is the synth. There is a synth on the ship and everyone knows it. So it's not like Ian Holmes' character where it's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. They know who the synth is. But Morrow as a person who is enhanced, it ends up being the character to be fully devoted to Weyland-Yutani. So I want to see a lot more of Morrow. And I think also him like webbing up the xenomorph in that fluid like webbing stuff.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Was so tight. He was like, you need to calm down. It can sense fear. And they're like, shut up, dude. And he's like, oh my gosh. I loved it. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think Morrow, he looked so much like Yaphet Kotto.
Yeah, from Alien.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was intentional or not, But I at a glance, I was almost like, is the Maginot crew? Wait, is this not a different ship? Is this supposed to be like a reacted or like a recast?
Oh, interesting. Like
Nostromo
they intentionally typecast some characters.
Yeah, that kind of like vague, thoughts about. I mean, they totally had the two engineers in the back, talking like all this stuff, and
But Parker, like Yefen's character Parker, was one of the engineers. So I feel like they definitely
That's very
intentionally
true.
had all those roles. But for Parker, he was the guy in the back who was like, "Hey, you guys don't get me, whatever." And Morrow's character is the captain, right? Like,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, it is really interesting. He does look a lot like him.
Or
Yeah, totally.
Morrow's not the captain.
No, but he kind of plays that captain role,
Yeah.
like sitting at the motherboard in the
Yeah.
final sequence on the Maginot, right?
Yeah, and he definitely has other. It'd be interesting because it seems like he has his own mission completely.
Yeah.
But
like,
it's almost,
how did you get a person to tag along with your mission if you can't just program them,
yeah. But then it's like, is he actually a Weyland Yutani employee? Is he working for someone else? Is he working for one of the other companies? So that seems to be the most likely to me. That's why he crashed it in a different sector, which that's super interesting too, because they have that whole scene of like, it's like, no, you can't come into Weyland Yutani space. Like that's an act of war, or
yeah.
What's the
he's
company
like,
name?
hey, so he's talking to Yutani, Boy Cavalier is, and he's saying, this is Prodigy space.
Prodigy. Yeah.
If you come here, it's an act of war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which again, they're sovereign companies. Which is
It's so crazy.
Standout characters, I really do like Wendy's character.
Yeah.
Sydney Chandler. I think, I don't know, that's very interesting to me. I really love Timothy Olyphant. I think he's always really good. And he's so different because I feel like we've seen him on Justified, we've seen him on like Mandalorian,
Yeah. Great actor.
He's so good as Kirsch. But this is the highlight of the show, I think, is just like the aesthetic, the look.
Yeah, totally.
It is not a cheap show for sure. It's not a but then the acting is top notch too. So
can't wait for more episodes. Heath, I'm gonna wrap it up for us. All right, buddy.
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. If you haven't, we've just spoiled episodes 1 and 2 of Alien Earth. So if you haven't seen it yet, sorry, go watch it. And later episodes will not be spoiled and will be very fun for you. However, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to an extra little episode. Typically, we have episodes on Wednesdays, every Wednesday. Find our Instagram, find our TikTok, find our YouTube. Follow us there. And as always, go see a movie.
Go see a TV show.
Go watch a show.
Go touch grass.
Okay, touch grass, buddy.
Delightful.